The over 1.5 at plus 140. The non-precluded
What the fuck is going on?
In Alex Pieta.
I'm muted again. Hold on. I might have to stop this and
Those plays covered all my losses. What the fuck is going
oh no, it's working.
And just made
I'm muted again. Hold on. I might have to stop this and the fuck? I don't know if I'm muted, guys. Hold on here. If you don't hear me, damn, I hate this phone. I still got the same crappy phone, folks. Come on, baby. Well, let's see. Come on. Summertime. Summertime. I'm a horrible singer. Give me a moment here, people. I'm trying to get this going. Come on, come computer. The computer is taking a while, as you see. It's spinning. It's thinking. This is what I go through when I create the content. Come on, come computer. The computer is taking a while. All right, cool. I hear it. It's thinking. This is what I go through when I create the content. All right, I hear myself. So I'm good, right, guys? I'm good. You guys can hear me? Welcome, Bowpetters. What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Hey, Brian, what's going on, man? Tailgating the summertime brew here. Oh, hey. All right. Yes. I hear my. All right, we're good. Well, we got some bets. We got some things going on here. Welcome back, guys. I know it's been a while. I do have time when I'm at work to create content. I just haven't got a new computer to do it. I also find myself creatively like being in my little office space in front of a desktop or in front of a computer. I find it awkward to just do creative work around other people. It's just something personal I gotta sort of get over. But I definitely do have the time to make and create content, do research. But with a lot of this card, I would say with the exception of a couple bouts, there wasn't a lot of research necessary because we are familiar with most of these fighters, and that's going to be the case going forward. I mean, we all watch Dana White's Contender Series. We watch The Ultimate Fighter. We watch these smaller promotions that are feeding the UFC. So it's hard for someone to sort of come out of the blue, be successful in the UFC, and us not know about them. So I'm thinking, pretty confidently here in some of the bets I placed, but I'm actually looking to place some more. Right out the gate, I would just want to let everyone know that, like a lot of the other cappers, I did listen to a few people this week, which I normally wouldn't do, but, I have time on my hands. I, like others, am big on Liang Na, and Liang Na is now flipped into the favorite. I was fortunate to get her at plus money if she's successful, right? It's only fortunate if she wins against Silviana Gomez Juarez. And I'm happy with that. I also placed, even the submission line has receded. I got the submission line at plus 260, and I looked this right just a moment ago, and that line is now plus 220 for her by submission, which I think is her win condition. She has, I believe, 11 wins via submission. So, that's beyond her win method. She's fighting Silvana Gomez, as we all know, famously lost via armbar, I think 2 of her last 3 performances. So I went big on Liang Na, hopefully to cover some of the chalk that I did place initially. Also I went big on another Asian fighter in this particular bout with what's his name here? Where is he at? Not Sung Woo Choi, but I probably will do the square parlay of Sung Woo Choi and possibly Zhang Wylie. I think those two come to plus 215 if you put them together. But I put a full unit on Dana Baccarel, and I also parlayed Dana Baccarel, whose line has evened out. That he was once I believe I got him at minus 150, and now that bout is even money. So I parlayed him with Jocelyn Edwards. I also parlayed him with Macy Barber, and I also parlayed Jocelyn Edwards with Macy Barber coming up. I'm big on Macy Barber because she burned me last time. I think beyond that, her performance where she's sort of, I think she hit that breakthrough moment where she's ready for prime time and ready for some of the top level of competition in the women's flyweight division. I think that she, just across that plateau. I don't know what it was, but her last performance was fantastic. So I'm big on Macy Barber, and I used her as a parlay anchor with many fighters this particular card. Where I think there's value. I think Zhang Wylie Zhang, it's a 3-round bout, man. That's a very interesting fight, but I think she still has it. I think she dominated their first performance, and beyond doing well against Rose Namajunas, Zhang Wylie is the truth. She really is a legitimate UFC women's fighter from Asia. I think she's probably the best fighter out of Asia in a long time. She really is a legit MMA practitioner that has championship or elite level skills. So I think if you use Wylie Zhang in a parlay, or if you take her via decision, which I think was, actually, let me get that up here, guys. I think if you use her as a decision, it isn't horrible, and even possibly a Glover tapping like a chicken. Oh man, people, Brian, I missed out on the Glover train last time. I didn't want to bet on it, and that was a mistake. I hated that card, by the way, the whole Russian card. It was heavy on the Russians, except for Glover and this guy. But I knew that it could be a possible submission there, and I sort of missed out. And in this one, I just, I know that Glover has one foot out the door, right? He's interested in retirement, and that's understood. Is he 40 or 42? I mean, he's the oldest UFC champion, the second oldest. I believe Randy Couture was older once he got his middleweight championship. But he does have one foot out the door, but I still think skill for skill wise, that Jiri has absolutely no wrestling and no ground game is going to eventually expose him to other elites in this division. And someone like Glover can be the one to take advantage of that lack of grappling. You have to be able to either counter grapple or grapple in the UFC to be a champion. I mean, we've seen it in every name a championship or a champion, even Israel Adesanya. Like Israel Adesanya is the best counter grappler in the game, right? He has that ability and that skill, which makes him that next level type fighter. It's not just his striking; it's his ability to keep everybody at bay and not allow himself to be taken down by these grapplers. Because once he's on the ground, and we'll see it even more so. Once he faces somebody with really, really good jiu-jitsu, like possibly like a Khamzat Chimaev, if Khamzat really starts utilizing his grappling better. I placed a small bet on Glover, and I also placed a small bet on Glover via submission because, again, I think that there is a means to victory there. Glover via submission was plus 320, which is, I think, a decent bet there. So I went with that, and I also went with him on the money line. A lot of people are also liking the under, the over or under 2.5. The fight is actually set at 1.5. So yes, for over 1.5 is plus 150, which I don't think is a bad bet. I think that it's going to be hard for Glover to get Jiri down and get that opportunity. But once he does get him down, I really think that he's going to be a strong favorite here. So I would look for that fight to go over that 1.5 round mark. I don't think it's going to happen very quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how both these guys, how their cardio is for both of them, and how their performance is. I mean, Glover's just that Homer Simpson type fighter. He always takes damage early in the fight, and then second round or third round comes in and brings it. So the over 1.5 being set at plus 150 and getting plus money for that. I think. Oh, actually, no. Yeah. Over. Oh no. I'm sorry. Over 1.5 is minus 139. I was looking at the fight parlays. If you could take Glover and the over 1.5 rounds, which they're not offering. They're offering Jiri and the over and under, and not Glover, which is interesting. But I went with Glover. We put it in there. We're going to see how that goes. Boring fight. It can't. Not all. I like ground fights. I think that if you're into MMA, the only time it's boring is when we saw things like, the last bout with, Carla Esparza and Rose Namajunas, when there's a lack of activity, right? If it's Kimbo Slice and, not Dada 2000, which was a horrible match too, but when he fought this guy from Nebraska, we've seen it, even Lewis and Ngannou. When you have that sort of competitive stalemate and guys aren't, or fighters and women as well, aren't being aggressive towards winning a match, yeah, it ends up being a boring match. But I think Glover or implementing a ground game isn't boring at all. That's what I want to see. As a bettor, I want to see it. And as a gambler, I want to see it. Although I think a lot of people, he definitely has good jiu-jitsu, but I think a lot of people forget that Glover is a sound boxer. He has very good boxing. He's not the best kicker, but his boxing is decent. He takes a lot of damage, but he does have that ability to strike as well. He stunned Polish Power, right? He had him stunned before he got that submission. He was doing okay on the feet. And I think that people are underrating Glover's actual striking and his striking power and prowess here. Because Jiri has all the hype, just like Khamzat. So we're going to see that here. How it plays out, I'm not certain yet, but I'm excited. I think this is a great card overall for betting, as well as just, for watching. Some low level MMA, Jocelyn Edwards, Ramona Pascal, low level, but still a good fight. Liang Na, Silviana Gomez Suarez, good fight. Dana got Baccarel and Kyung Hong Kang, good fight. All up and down this card. Even the Steve Garcia, Hayasierra Machete is actually a good bout, right? There isn't a bad fight on this card at all. I think it on paper, or at least looking at it, whether on paper or not, just the matchups are really, really good. This is going to be a very good, entertaining, as well as a good betting card. I think the odds are set, with the exception of Valentina's odds, as well as some other things that I've seen, like on Brendan Allen, for example. Some of the odds on Brendan Allen aren't very good, but the lines are set and now have adjusted quite well, right? Like, Liang Na is now no longer a dog. You see that, Jack Magdalena and Ramazan Ameev. If you're on either side, if you're an Ameev fan, there's value in Ramazan Ameev against Jack Magdalena. I'm leaning a little now more on Jack Magdalena. I just think striking wise, he has a far, far better arsenal than Ramazan Ameev. And if he could avoid the smothering and the takedowns in that bout, he might finish Ramazan Ameev. And Jack Della Magdalena via TKO or finish is a plus 225 via finish and plus 270 via TKO. So I might play Jack, even though I'm a Ameev fan, and I bet Ameev last time out to versus Roberts a lucky victory there. Or actually, no, I think he lost that one. So, but I did bet Ramazan Ameev, and he disappointed. Very inactive. Doesn't have that really against some of the higher. My arm, and then I smelled it. Let me have a sip of beer. So I'm actually really tired for some reason, but we're gonna have a few beers. We're tailgating. What's up, guy? Joey, Brian, what's going on? The Sobaks. I'm here. Hopefully, you guys are still here. Hopefully, you guys are having a good afternoon. Did something with this beautiful weather that we have out here. But I think it's going to be a look at me. It's funny watching myself have a beer and it doesn't go down that smooth. But this Kolsch is a little smoother than the IPAs that I drink. So not a bad beer here. The Goose Island Summer Beer. Could show people having a beer afternoon, a nooner. Yeah, I did work today. I had to go in for a few hours. And it sucked. But it was easy. It was easy. It just sucked getting up, and going in for a few hours. But it was cool. Well, I was fortunate to get the time off, so I could go watch the event at the casino. I could play some live bets, which I'm excited to do again. I honestly miss you guys. I miss being around people in that setting. I miss the casino. I'm gonna admit it. I miss watching the fights. It's cool watching the fights on your phone. How was my day coded in the system? I don't recall. I don't recall what it was coded in. It was me picking up some extra hours. So, as you mentioned, it won't be overtime, but it's no big deal. There's plenty of time to make overtime, although I heard that might be changing as we're getting more and more people. But I'm not too concerned with it. I think I'll make that time back up. I'm off Monday and Tuesday, but I'm gonna come in both Monday and Tuesday. I'm not gonna work a double, but I'll work like some long hours on those days. I'm not certain of Tuesday yet. Tuesday has become sort of my day with my girlfriend. We go to the movies. If Thor is premiering this week, which I don't think it did, then I'm going to the movies. Last week we went bowling. So I got my bowling game on, and I finally beat her. I took 2 games from her out of 3. My highest game, unfortunately, was only like a 160, and I did a 160, 140, and then like a 120, and I still beat her, which is amazing because she's really good. But she's playing on a house ball, and it does matter for her. Like for her, I have, and not necessarily advantage, but that's my only chance of winning is because she is playing with the house ball. Because if she were playing with her ball, she would just destroy me. But she was playing with the house ball. So Tuesday has become sort of my girlfriend day, which is like a Saturday. And that's cool. I mean, I got to spend time and give time to her. Also got to spend time to myself and my family. I took the other 2 days off and put up some curtains with my mom, took her shopping. Although I rushed her in the shopping. My mom's shopping is brutal. And a lot of people that take care of their older parents or work with their older parents will understand how brutal, helping or assisting somebody with the onset of Alzheimer's is. It's difficult, and my empathy and sympathy goes out to people whose parents are suffering from that illness because it's hard. It's hard to just do basic everyday things. So. Again, I'm just excited to have a little time off and a Saturday off, but just to go to the casino and chill out. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. So that's why we're tailgating. Salud. What are the bets, guys? What are people? I mean, I've mentioned my bets. I did a money line on Dana Baccarat. I put a unit on him at minus 150. So that doesn't seem like a wise bet at this point, considering it's even money. I put a full unit on Jocelyn Edwards, and it's more of a fade of Ramona Pascual. Ramona Pascual, other than her looks, doesn't do anything for me. I think that she is such a bad. I don't think she's UFC level at all. Yes, Jocelyn Edwards' wrestling is horrible, and Ramona did do some wrestling against the teeny little Brazilian woman. but Jocelyn Edwards is physically, I think, stronger than the little Brazilian woman, and not necessarily more skilled. No, and I forgot the Brazilian woman's name, but I think she's far more skilled than Liang Na. And I know they're giving Liang Na an opportunity here by giving her a woman that can't grapple, and Liang Na's win method is grappling because her striking is horrible, and Liang Na's striking defense is the some of the worst I've seen ever in the UFC. Her striking defense, I mean, she got lit up, and I'm surprised that she was able to withstand the damage she did. But I'm sorry, not Liang Na, Ramona Pascal. And Pascal's, like I said, her striking defense is ridiculously bad. I can't emphasize that any more than that. All Jocelyn Edwards needs to do is keep her at bay, keep distance, and it's an easy victory for Jocelyn Edwards. So I put a unit on Jocelyn Edwards. I parlayed both of them, Dana Bagatelle and Jocelyn Edwards, and I did a 3-pick of them, almost like a round robins with Macy Barber, right? So those were my 3 main plays. I put a half unit on Glover to win on the money line, and then I put a quarter unit on Glover to win via submission. I also, what else did I do here? What else was the play? Yeah, grab the tickets here. I mean, the ticket method, not the Liang Na submission, Jocelyn Edwards, Dana Bagatelle, that's that unit. Oh, okay. So I contrary to other people, I know it's a flyer. I'm on Jacob Malkoun. I think Brendan Allen, we loved him. He made me a lot of money. Those submissions that he had, we cashed those tickets, him by submission and by finish. Since then, that chin, as well as his wanting to stand up, and I think a lot of people are selling Malkoun's jiu-jitsu, his grappling, and his striking a little short. I don't think they're giving him, and looking at the bookies' number, the respect that he deserves. I mean, yes, he's much smaller than Brendan Allen, and people think that Brendan Allen's jiu-jitsu is light years ahead of Jacob Malkoun, but Malkoun is surging. He's getting better every time out, every bout that he's been in. He's improved his performances, whereas Brendan Allen has done the opposite, right? He's loving his feet, he's loving his stand-up, and I think also, besides the stand-up, I think his jiu-jitsu, he's going to be surprised that Malkoun is not going to play off his back, and it's going to be harder for Brendan Allen to submit Malkoun than people give. So I dropped a small half unit on Malkoun. It's not a big bet. I'm not very confident in it, but I'm going to chase it. Here's the Glover bet. Glover by submission. And then that Macy Barber trio and Macy Barber there. So, yo, what's up, Blood Money? Hey, good to been watching you. I hope you guys are blowing up. Blood Money bets, man. And Johnny K Picks, man, very entertaining content. Loving you guys. I did listen to your bets. I'm gonna copy or tail your the square parlay. I think it's a great play. I think Wylie Jang has, she dominated, in my opinion, Joanna Jasic in the last bout. I mean, we saw the head, we saw the striking. I mean, that was a great bout, but I felt that Wylie Jang or Zhang Wylie, won all 3 rounds unanimously. To me, it was a unanimous decision. It wasn't even an issue. So I like Wylie Jang, and I think that if there is a mismatch, or if there is a bout that is not necessarily given, is Sung Woo Choi over Josh Kulibao. I think that Sung Woo Choi, just as a kickboxer, is going to tear up Josh Kulibao. And Kulibao, if he has no wrestling, which I think he doesn't, I'm not too keen on him and Josh Kulibao as well as Machete's wrestling. I mean, they're both going to need wrestling or some form of grappling to win their matches. Like Sung Woo Choi, we saw him get submitted, and I picked that submission. I knew that was coming. We see that he's susceptible to the grappling, but if Josh Kulibao doesn't bring any grappling, he has very little chance in this bout. He's not going to want to stand in kickbox with Sung Woo Choi, because I think Sung Woo Choi will finish him. He's not necessarily a finisher per se, but I think in this particular instance, and again, I'm having some bias towards some of the Asian fighters. I think it being in Malaysia, or I'm sorry, Singapore, there is going to be okay. So Blood Money is saying that Cabal has decent jiu-jitsu but terrible wrestling, and he also feels, Blood Money feels that that Choi should get the unanimous decision or even a stoppage. And I'm in that same boat. I think it's set up for some of these fighters who, even Ramona Pascal is a live dog. It's set up for some of these Asian fighters to really, this card is doing a very good showcase of just international fighters. We have everybody in it. Again, fantastic card all around. Even the diversity in the fighters. We got Americans, we got Asians, Europeans. I mean, really, some Brazilians in it, representation from Latin America. So, I mean, Andre Fiallo, Jake Matthews, Australia, really great regional as well as just international card. I think this card, I mean, dare I say, it is better than the next card that's coming up, in my opinion, by far. I think this is one of the best cards that we're going to see this summer. So I'm excited. Besides the betting, I think that we're going to see some really good MMA tonight. I think that it's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to the bets. I mean, the money helps. I enjoy it, but the money, I'll enjoy it a lot more with some winning tickets and some more money in my pocket. Is always a lot more to enjoy MMA when you're predicting things well, you're picking things well. And I don't mind tailing folks like Blood Money Bets, man. The guy knows his shit. He does research like I do. I haven't been able to do a ton of it. Not really necessary in this particular instance, but I love that, that I could, and I trust people. I trust people that I see here on YouTube. They've done it long enough. They have the receipts to prove it. And they're again, we always go back to, transparency and saying and doing what you believe, like in terms of, hey, Victor's here. What's up, Victor? He thinks Jiri by sub in the first round. I don't know, Victor, man. That's, I mean, you might have the Eastern European pride there, but if Jiri does it, I think he ends it early via his striking. And we've not seen, his cardio to an extent. Like, let's see how good how his cardio holds up, because I think this is going to go over 1.5 rounds. I think this isn't not going to get in the championship rounds, but I think it's going to go into that late second or even the early third round for sure. And I'm interested to see how Jiri's output is going to be in that round, because he's more of a volume striker, more of a volume guy, right? He didn't, he definitely beat the shit out of Reyes, but it took him a lot of time to sort of get to that finish. And I think it's the same thing with Glover. He's up against Glover, who is the Homer, he's the Homer Simpson of MMA. So Glover's got a chin and he could take it. So I'm excited to see that bout. Hopefully, by that point I have some extra money and I might throw some more money on Glover, but we're going to see. Hey, Blood Money, the shout out, no worries, man. Like I said, you guys are doing big things. And, in this game, or at least what I see in YouTube, I always like people that are genuine, right? That's what we want to see. We don't want to see these people that, and most people are. There are some that are phony and they're haters and there are other people, but seeing folks that enjoy the MMA, enjoy the gambling, and are successful at the gambling side is cool. And I think that you're successful at it. And so, of course, people are going to tail you. People are going to watch your content. I'm still hovering in that, I'm down a few $100s this year. So I'm not on that winning path yet. But I'm not on like losing big. Like we're not very far off of where we need to be, or where we're not far off to getting back into the black is what the goal is. And I could do it tonight. I could flip this, with the few bets that I have. I could flip onto the profitable side just like that. So, everyone that supports this channel that's come out, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys tuning in, commenting. I'm going to get back to the format at some point or another. We're going to see how that goes, but I really do appreciate the attention that I get here and the input and the feedback. Even though Victor thinks Jiri by sub in the first, I'd be shocked if that happened. Yeah, the cards have, I've had a couple, I'm not going to say I had bad beats, man. If we're in the gambling game, it's not just show and prove. It is what it is. You can't change the fact that Rose fought the way she fought, for example, right? I was a huge bet. I was big on Rose Namajunas. Hurt me big. I had her tailing a lot of my parlays. Like, I had her with everybody. And it was not cool when she lost, because I still make that mistake. It could be like when Macy Barber, this card. Like, I have Macy Barber with everyone, and that's a future bet, right? I make that mistake. I still have that habit. When I'm strong on somebody and I start to use them as an anchor in parlays, oh man, I just, I still make that mistake where I have a lot invested in one fighter, in parlays as well as on the money line. And Rose Namajunas was like that a few weeks ago. And this coming card, because I parlayed Macy Barber with a lot of people on this card and in the future as well. Man, it's going to be interesting. Come that day, I'll have a bunch of tickets, like hundreds of dollars on Macy Barber. Basically, probably like with her name, maybe 10 tickets. It's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough one. And I'll just, full disclosure, I already done it. You know what I mean? I make that mistake a lot. But if she hits, I'm happy. I'm beyond the positive if it hits. If she does what she's supposed to do, I'm gonna yeah, Blood Money saying he uses only one person and 2 bets at most, but it's tough when you feel strongly about someone to not anchor everything with them. Yeah, and then I look at, the other thing I do is when I look at those strong fighters and their number, rather than, like, I can't do anything with Valentina Shevchenko at minus 600. Even her win, her by decision or by finish, I can't parlay those. I won't parlay them. I'll just play them straight as props, but I can't do anything with that, right? I can't do anything with, I could do something, for example, with Wylie, Jang, and Sungwoo Choi. They're in that range, even if they're in the high 200s. Like, for example, even if you're on, like, is Jack Magdalena in the high 200s? Who's in the 200s here? I will not do Brendan Allen, for example, at minus 315. Not going to do it. Yeah, Sungwoo Choi is surged up a little bit to minus 265. I could use that in a parlay. Wylie Zhang is surged up a little bit to minus 186. I could use that in a parlay. And if you're on any of the other sides, right, like of any of these fighters, the odds in this particular card are not horrible. Real News MMA is saying he finally won a parlay last weekend and posted up on Twitter. He says he falls while watching too much content and not creating any. Kick the gaming edition. So yeah, hey, gaming is cool. Game if you want, man. There's nothing wrong with gaming. It can, content creation. If you're gaming and you're having fun, man. It's worth the time. It's creation and doing some of this content. Besides sharing it with your people, I have fun at it. I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. It's not like for the views. It's certainly not for the views and for the tons of people that are in my community. It really is fun for me. So I enjoy it. And if this were a gaming channel, shit, I'd be having fun with it. As long as you're having fun doing what you're doing, the content, man, keep it up, man. Just keep doing the content, and people will come there. Yeah, we will support Real News. Yeah, if we have the time, I watch a lot of other, up and coming or smaller MMA channels. I'm not always there looking at Uncle Weezy or always with Manpreet or I watch. God damn it, I forget his name right now. Young Philly kid. Love watching his content. I love watching Raj and the Kappa Comparison guys. There's a lot of people out there, but there's still room and there's still other people. We watch who we like. Besides who we trust, if we like your voice, we like your presentation. People are come and they're going to watch you. And if you participate, I've found, at least myself, if you participate and come onto their channel, I'm going to definitely come to your channel. I'm going to look at what you're doing. If you're listening to me, supporting me, and I'm going to definitely come and check your shit out. So that's a no-brainer. Like, that's why I always, or at least initially, I was like really salty when people like didn't come and watch my shit or didn't comment, where I knew they watched it, but they didn't leave a comment, you know? I used to be salty about that, but, you know, not right now. I'm not, you know, that doesn't bother me as much, but be aware that, yeah, people are going to watch, man. People, and it's great to make the content, you know, so keep it up, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope things personally are better, professionally are better for everybody out there. You know, it's a good summer. We're not completely done with this COVID shit, but, you know, opportunities are there to do a lot of things in your life. Just don't let yourself be your own barrier towards happiness and success. Start doing those little things that make you happy and that are going to provide you with both, you know, that emotional sustenance that you need, and then some money in your pocket that you could do more stuff, right? Whatever your stuff is, you know, getting a new bike or traveling, or if you're into food, you know, go on and enjoy that stuff. It's really important to, you know, all work and no play, you know, is not really a good thing. I'm doing a lot of that right now. So I'm stoked to actually have a little playtime, and I'm going to use my playtime to gamble. But you know what? I like gambling. I like it. You know, yes, I when I lose, I feel like shit. I'm fucking sad. I'm angry. But I'm excited to go gamble. I don't know how else to say it, man. I'm just telling the fucking truth. I'm fucking stoked to go and fucking put some money on the fucking line, man. Let's do this. You know what I mean? I'm excited, and I hope that I win some money. But I'm genuinely feeling just happy that I have a little extra money that I could wager. Happy that I'm going to be around people at the casino. Get to see the fucking fights on a giant fucking screen. You know, that I can live bet there. I'm fucking stoked. You know, that makes, you know, I have other things that make me happy. I'd rather, you know, I want to start taking my bike rides again, and I want to, I'll be traveling very soon and surfing. I'm thinking of visiting the wave pool in Waco, Texas. So look forward, if I do go there, I will go live. I'll also post like a spot review on that wave pool and let you guys see me surfing, or, you know, whatever I can do. That's something that I'm going to do this summer for sure, is at the wave pool in Waco, Texas. And which is, sounds like very interesting. It's just going to be a little bit of a trip, which I think I could afford already, and I'm going to do. So I'm also going to we're going to try to go to a UFC event this summer. We're going to try to come and visit or get close to the people that, you know, that are here. Like, you know, not in a mean way. You know, I'm not going to roll up on Brandon K, but I'm going to go, you know, I'm going to go to LA, you know, and chill out. And if people want to come and meet me, have some tacos, have a beer, share a little conversation, share a burger, you know, go walking on the beach or go for a little hike, man, I'm going to be down for that shit. So we're going to be around, man. Good things have been happening. I've been working really hard, you know, making a little money again so that I can gamble, that I can enjoy other things in life, but working very hard. It does take hard work. You do have to put in the time, and we're putting in the time, right? And it's just that, you know, you have that time, whether you're a gambler, whatever you're doing in your life, invest in yourself, invest in your family, invest in new opportunities. Don't fall for this media hype that shit is bad. Yes, I know inflation's horrible. Yes, the gas, it was $100 to fill my truck up. Fucking $100. It used to be $40. So, you know, you just can't let that shit bother you. You know, if you need to start a small little personal business that provides you some passive income, you know, go and do something like that. Get your passport. You want to travel, go get your passport. You know, go do the small things that are going to help you enjoy your life better. And with MMA, you know, if you want to understand MMA better, go and take a jiu-jitsu course. Go and sign up a kickboxing class. Go and, you know, read or sign up. In fact, I need to do that with, what's the referee's name? He has an online referees course that I meant to purchase and go through it because I have interest in that, like learning the rules. Mark Goddard. he has this like online referees course that I meant to do and take advantage of, and I'm still going to do that. Even MMA, there are things that we can do not only to learn about the fighting game better, but also just enhance ourselves. Like, you're practicing jujitsu, kickboxing, or wrestling. It helps you. Physically, it's going to help you. Mentally, it's going to help you. You have that self-defense ability as well. And then you're going to know a little bit better when you see fighters and things they're doing. You're going to see things that you didn't notice before. Like the way people are defending, or doing counter jujitsu, or the way they are parrying strikes, or when they're measuring distance as opposed to parry. You're going to see those things and be like, oh, wow. Or when I talk about movement, I'm really big into offensive movement, defensive movement, foot movement, torso movement, and staying on your heels. With people like, if I say someone's flat-footed, doesn't move their head, doesn't move off the center line, these are things that you learn as you have more experience in, either practicing boxing or just studying it. You could study it. I truly believe you can be an armchair quarterback or an armchair MMA, quote-unquote, professional just watching. That's what we are. We've watched these bouts so much. I've seen decades worth of MMA. I've watched so many, and of jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. As a fan, I've watched so much of it that I'm not going to say that I have this, a lot of credibility in terms. I'm not going to go out there and try to coach anybody, but I know what I'm watching. I know what's going to happen as it's happening, and sometimes before. That's why it's great to live bet. I wish we could live bet on methods. Like if you could say, like, I think she's going to get that submission this round, right? Or, the KO is coming very soon, right? Like, that would be really cool if they had that at Rivers or at the, at your bookie site. If you have that, that's a great live betting opportunity for you. If you know somebody's win method or what they're doing as they're doing it, and you're like, oh, here, that person's deteriorating. Their cardio is going down. I feel like the TKO is coming. So, it would be a really cool, types of submission. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, that's, like this woman, for example, Liang Na, she's an armbar specialist. She's apparently big fan of Ronda Rousey, and it'd be sick if they offered you to line on the actual submission type. It's risky, right? But it'd be cool. I think that'd be cool if they let you specify like the type of TKO, like if it's ground and pound as opposed to a knockout, and they gave you some little more juice that you picked the actual correct method or the correct TKO or way that somebody won the fight. I think that'd be really sick. So if you do have that available to you, take advantage of it. And the two things of live betting or the app betting that's important to take advantage of, the live betting. Man, these apps are not as bright as us. It's an algorithm, it's a computer making or adjusting that line that we could take advantage. A lot of times, man, they're just flipping based on a little bit of performance on either round, and they're undervaluing either the dog or overvaluing somebody, right? So real live betting, we're able to take advantage of the bookies because they're having to make a number on the fly, right? So you could take advantage of them, right? Yeah, Blood Money Bets is on Na too. Yeah, man, I'm all in on Na, and I might double down when I get there. It's even money at this point. I got her at plus 130, I think it was. She was up at plus 160 in the opening. So, the draw option. Yeah, I don't ever bet a draw. That is an option, but I wouldn't look at that. What was I saying? Was I looking? Oh, Liang Na. I don't know what I was saying there, but the advantage of using those apps and the cash out. Like if you're a parlay player, like I don't do the long parlays that I used to do. I still might do one Hail Mary parlay, an event. I'll mix up all kinds of things, and I do one of them for like $10 now. But I don't do those 4-leg, 5-leg, 6-leg, just straight money line parlays, or even method or time parlays. Don't do those anymore at all. I felt like even though I win some of them and I've made some good money on them, they don't hit enough and a high enough percentage for me to invest in them. So I've abandoned those parlays, but If you do, and you've gotten 4 of your 7-leg parlay, and they offer you a cash out, and it's a profitable cash out, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? Sticking around. If you're 6 or 7, you invest. Say a friend of ours had 6 or 7, and he needed Peter Yan to win that set. He was the 7th leg of a 7-bet parlay where he could have turned $100 into, I believe it was like close to $2,000. They offered him a cash out of $900, right? So he could have made $800 profit out of his one unit, out of his $100, and he didn't cash out. And I told him, cash out. You already made a profit. Get the fuck out of there. And you get greedy and you want that extra, $1,200, but you already made $800. Take the $800 and reinvest it somewhere else. Just take the money and run. You're a winner. You have a winning ticket. You don't have to see that 7th fight. You don't have to see which way it goes. In that instance, he lost, right? Like it was over, right? So, there aren't sure things in here. So even if we're betting, chalk, again, if you're using the apps, a great thing is to be able to cash out. Cash out, get the fuck out of there. Live betting, take advantage of these bookies. They don't know what we know, right, about these fighters. Watching the fighters, watching the footage helps you in your live betting because you know what people are good at, what their best skills are at any given moment. So, say like Valentina Shevchenko has a bad round against Talia Santos. Talia comes out like a banshee and fucking puts it on Valentina. Next thing you know, Valentina drops down to like a minus 300. That's the time to jump on her or use it or in a parlay. Shit, I'm like, okay, she lost that round. I'm shocked, but I'm confident that she's going to win this still, and put money on her. The women's bout the last week, I told my friend Joey about it. She lost the first round. I'm like, dude, jump on her big. Like she was a big favorite. She lost the first round, and her number dropped to like even money. Like that's your opportunity to know, like, hey, I'm gonna dump on, I'm in on that favorite now, right? I'd hope for Valentina to drop the first round so I could bet on her. Jack Della Magdalena, for example. I hope that Ramazan takes him down a bunch, smothers him for like one round, right? See if his number drops, maybe he becomes plus money, and I'm gonna jump on that plus money then. There are plenty of people on this card that can happen. Watch Brendan Allen's number drop after that first round. I think you're going to be able to bet someone like Brendan Allen after. Jacob Malkoun is even though he's slow, he's methodical. All right, my man. Thanks, Blood Money. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate your insights this week and your participation in this chat, man. Have a good, safe work day. Make that money. You got to make that money to bet, right? Betting isn't free. Betting is not it is a spectator sport, but it isn't. You got to make that money. So good luck yourself. I think that we don't need the luck. We just need to we're making wise decisions, wise choices here. We're getting information from guys like you. So with that information, we're able to utilize it. Hopefully it turns out to be profitable. And, this is a good card. Regardless of how I turn out this weekend, I think this is a good, entertaining, and good betting card. Wherever you feel on anyone, I'm not going to shit on anyone saying, hey, that's a stupid bet. I mean, shit, even if you were on like Hayasa Machete at plus 154 against Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is a one-dimensional type grappler who really isn't so dominant on the grappling nor in the striking, so I'm not going to hate you that. I'm not hating. I'm on Malkoun, right, against Allen. I know a lot of people are like thinking that I'm an idiot for being on Jacob Malkoun. I'm not saying you to go on it, but it just is what it is, right? Like, Ramona Pascal. There seems to be a means to victory for her against Jocelyn Edwards, who has no grappling. Jocelyn Edwards, no counter wrestling, and Ramona Pascal likes to grapple. She's more of a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and she was able to land some takedowns, but I don't think she's fantastic at anything. So, but I would, if you're on the Ramona side, I'm not going to hate you. I think, okay, plus 140, Jocelyn Edwards isn't fantastic either. There's this whole card is just littered with that. Jake Matthew, Andre Fiallo, I think that's one of the most discussed, along with Wylie, Jang, and Joanna, Jasic, as well as Glover and Jiri. A lot of people, a lot of eyes are on that bout, because is Andre Fiallo, is that one hitter quitter? Is he the truth in terms of being one of the big, most a finisher in the UFC at that division? We're going to see that tonight against Jake Matthews. A lot of people, that his numbers dropped where you could go on Andre Fiallo on the money line now, because a lot of people think that Jake Matthews' wrestling and his striking, but his wrestling, and I believe that Jake Matthews' submission line is also driven a lot of people. I mean, even by finish, Jake Matthews is plus 450 by finish, and he is plus 600 by submission, right? So not a likelihood, but people, a lot of love is coming in on Jake Matthews, and it's driven that line to, down. So if you're on Andre Fiallo, like, I'm going to bet Fiallo probably via KO, because Jake Matthews, a lot of people fucking stand and trade with Fiallo. Like, dude, take the guy down, wear him down. But you want to have an exciting fight. You're trying for that 50K. That's not the guy to do it. Fiallo's got serious power in his hands. Like, he's got that one touch, one hit knockout power, and everybody wants to stand with him because he doesn't have great striking defense. They stun him. He gets faded a little bit. He gets stunned himself, but he comes back on everybody. So him via TKO is a horrible price. It's plus 110. Him via finish is plus 105. So the bookies are with me here that he still has that knockout advantage. So I'm not certain if I'm there yet, but Real News MMA say he's split on him, but he's leaning Fiallo. I'm leaning Fiallo too, because I think Jake Matthews is going to want to stand and trade. All fights start on the feet, and I'm hoping, I think even same with Glover and Jiri. I'm hoping Glover doesn't even fuck around, like throwing a kick here and there. Like, I hope he doesn't fight like he fought against John Jones. If he does that, that was one of the biggest losses of his career last time he was in a championship bout. If he does that, he's going to lose. If he engages in a kickboxing match with Jiri, he will lose that kickboxing match. But if he just right out the fucking gate, I wouldn't mind if fucking Glover fucking closed the distance, got him into that body lock, and took his ass down and just smothered him for a round. I would not mind that at all. So let me get another beer here, guys, and we'll talk a little bit more. I don't really have to get ready for the casino. Anybody else? What is anybody have a favorite or confident pick tonight? I know a lot of us cappers are on Liang Na or Na Liang. Keep doing that with the Asian fighters is like really rude and stupid to do, but I heard some other kid. I forget which kid it was that I was listening to, and he was having fun with the Asian names. He was, Chu Woong Song, Zhang Wylie, Wylie Zhang, that you could actually like mix them up and it still sounds very Asian because they're Asian names. But this is going to be very, very interesting. But is there something that like people are very confident about? I'm not as confident in my plays, with the exception of Jocelyn Edwards. I really feel that I don't feel that Ramona Pascal should be in the UFC. I think they went with a beautiful face, but they're giving her a great opportunity here because Jocelyn Edwards' takedown defense is so bad, right? Like the wind could fucking take her down, right? I'm just still big on Jocelyn Edwards, and the number is there to prove it. Her number has gone up, right? A lot of people are picking Jocelyn Edwards because if you watch the tape of Ramona Pascal's last fight, I don't know how you could bet on her, right? That might be one, it's so that she's so bad in her striking, and her striking defense is so bad, and her wrestling isn't like great, but again, does she live? Does she have a chance? Absolutely, because Edwards' counter wrestling is just so bad. But everywhere else, her striking is just far, far above Ramona. So I'm hoping that Edwards, this isn't her swan song. I hope that she comes to fucking brawl and fucking brawls. Stand and bang. Stand and bang, Ramona Pascal. You will win. You will beat her all day if you just sprawl and brawl. That's all she needs to do. So that's why I'm big on Jocelyn Edwards, big on Na Liang, and I went big on Dana Baccarel, but that number is Kyung Ho Kang has closed the distance there. I understand that Kyung Ho does have good grappling. He's slightly bigger than Dana, but Dana, man, I'm telling you, the guy's got legit power. He reminds me of not Sung Woo Choi, Song Yadong. He's like a smaller version of Song Yadong. And I'm big on Song Yadong. Song Yadong is a beast. That dude is a packed powerhouse. And Dana Baccarel is just a slightly smaller version of the same kind of fighter. So I'm thinking, possibly Dana. Kyung Ho Kang hasn't been finished, I believe. But Dana via TKO is plus 180. To win by finish, plus 165. Man, these bookies are not giving you some meaty numbers on some of these props. Like Kyung Ho Kang via submission is plus 500. I think that should be a little bit more meaty for him. Plus 500 is good, but for all the numbers, all the numbers on a lot of the props, especially the submission props, have been adjusted. We're not getting the same meat. You don't see the plus 1600s or the plus 1800s anymore on certain people via submission. It sucks. Like even Glover via submission, that's a fight parlay, boom. Glover via submission is plus 320. Not very juicy. Not a great number there. Real News asked, do I like... okay. Well, first of all, he said he likes Choi and Shevchenko, of course, and out of those, he likes Dana, but he has the under 2.5 picked. I don't know about the under 2.5 for any of those fights. Do I like Shevchenko by KO, sub, or decision? Good question. I'm actually thinking decision. I think that Talia Santos is a gamer. She is physically capable of just surviving the onslaught, and I think that she has a resilience and strength that might allow her to avoid being both taken down and getting submitted, as well as Shevchenko doesn't have that KO, that one touch power. She's a volume striker. So I think, that Valentina, and the bookies are saying it like it's even money for her via decision. And you look at the yes to go the distance and no to go the distance is even money. Yes to go the distance minus 118. Not to go the distance is minus 112. So I think that the bookies are a little scared that this is going to go to decision as well. Shevchenko the win and over 3.5 rounds is a minus 143. I'm liking that to win by decision, Shevchenko is only plus 100, right? So, and she's plus 100 by finish. So the bookies aren't sure. Real News, you put a good question forth because a lot of the bookies aren't sure of what's the method or what's going to happen there either. Like they're confident that she's going to win, but they're not certain if it's by decision. And you're getting the same value, like plus 100 on all of those, except for the submission. Shevchenko via submission is plus 480, which I'm surprised about. But I'm not going to chase that submission, and I'm not going to necessarily chase her decision. I'm just going to be hands off on that Valentina. Sometimes when I'm priced out because I just see there's better. I'd rather put more money into Liang Na or more money into her Liang Na via submission or one of these other. Say for example, I'd rather bet the fight between Malkoun and Brendan Allen to go the distance. Yes, to go the distance is plus 157. I'm getting better value or better return on my investment with a risky prop like that rather than risking plus 100 on Valentina decision or finish. So I'm leaning on Shevchenko, and I think it's going to be a decision, but I'm not going to bet it. If anything, see if there's like they do have these in fight parlays, is what they call it, a fight parlays, and you're still only getting Valentina to win in over 3.5 rounds is minus 143, and her to win in under 3.5 rounds is plus 135. So I'm sort of liking that over, but at that value, you might as well just take her to win by decision, right? Her, which was the plus 100. You might as well just take that as rather than the over 3.5 at minus 143. Although you have the advantage of a round and a half that you don't have to sit through, and hope that that she doesn't get the finish there. So I'm going to stay away from there. I do like Shevchenko, and I predict it to be by decision because Thalia Santos is just physically and skill-wise capable enough to survive both Shevchenko's striking onslaught, as well as may have enough counter wrestling and counter jiu-jitsu to avoid the submission. But I see nobody touching Valentina Shevchenko. I see her dominating this match and getting a victory by any way that she wants it almost. But I really think it will be decision. But thanks for the question. Oh man, I'm tired and feeling this beer. Salud. How does anyone feel about the? I'm not confused, but the bouts that I'm like going to be. Oh yeah, see, Real News says he did like the Allen Malkoun at over 2.5, but heard from people saying inside the distance and the line saying it finishes it well. Yeah, Real News, everybody thinks, all of fucking Vegas thinks that basically Brendan Allen's going to finish Jacob Malkoun in round 1 or 2. I mean, Brendan Allen via finish is plus 100, him via TKO is plus 340, him via submission is plus 180. The fight is set at over the over-under is at over is 2.5, and a lot of people are expecting a finish. I think they're underestimating Malkoun's resilience and his skills, man. We haven't seen, Brendan Allen hasn't gotten a finish in a while. He's been finished, right? So I think the hype on Allen is past. I'm not saying that his chin, that he's washed up, that he's super chinny at this point. But we see that he has holes in his game, both in the striking, as well as his fight IQ and that chin. So I'm actually thinking of that yes to go the distance and avoiding either fighter and just hoping that neither of them finish each other. I don't know how good Malkoun's MMA jiu-jitsu is, right, against somebody like Brendan Allen. We know how good Allen's MMA jiu-jitsu is, but Malkoun might have good counter MMA jiu-jitsu, and then we're going to see if Malkoun's wrestling, which I think is better than Brendan Allen and underrated, Malkoun's improving in his grappling and his wrestling. Allen, what if Allen and Malkoun ends up on top and is able to keep top position and just smothers Brendan Allen, wears him down, gets him into the deep waters, and ekes out a decision via control, which we haven't seen very much. The refs the judges haven't been favoring or deciding or leaning on. Yeah, the TKO will age well for Hawes. Yeah, Hawes. Yeah, I mean, Allen, man, is, like I said, I think I'm the least of all the favorites on this card, I'm the least confident in Brendan Allen. For sure. I bet against some other ones, but yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm the least confident, even though I bet against Jiri, I'm more confident in Jiri possibly winning his bout than I am Brendan Allen. And, Sung Woo Choi, I'm very confident that he'll get a win. I'm torn between Jack Della Magdalena and Ramazan Emeev. On the fence there with Jake Matthews and Andre Fiallo. I'm confident in Wylie Jang beating Joanna or Jasic. But Brendan Allen that's why I'm on the Malkoon, just for a little lunch money. Little lunch money bet right there on Jacob Malkoon. Nothing great there, but I still, even though I went on Malkoon, I still also like the yes to go the distance, and I might do that yes to go the distance, and I might jump on that Malkoon via decision at plus 700. So we'll see come fight time if I jump on that, and if I do that, I'll comment or leave something here in the comment section on this video when I'm at the casino, if I make a play like that, and we'll just disclose, hey, I'm going to go this way or that way, or you guys can mention what you guys are doing. I think that's cool. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. But I think that there are opportunities in this card, and Allen, in my opinion, that line is wide, and I think he is the weakest favorite on this card, in my opinion. But a lot of the YouTube cappers disagree with me, as well as Vegas. Vegas is completely on the other side, but that's why we gamble. And that's why I love making those bets, and I love winning those, especially the yes to go the distance plus one. I wish it was more. I think it should be more than plus 157. That is, plus 157 says that there's a chance. It should, in my opinion, it should be like if everybody's so high on Brendan Allen and he's got the finish prop at plus 100, then the fucking yes to go the distance should be at least plus 200 or more, right? So I'm not saying that I have insight or I'm on to something, but I think I'm going to jump on that. I think that, some of these fights here, going the distance is going to be the call. Interesting how many finishes. I don't expect Jocelyn Edwards and Romana Pascal to go to finish. Everybody expects Liang Na and Silviana Gomez Juarez to go to a finish. And I would sort of agree with that, either side. That I think that's going to be a finish. The finish, no one expects a finish between Dana Baccarel and Kyung Ho Kang. I think there could be a finish there. Either way, I think Kyung Ho Kang maybe could get a submission, or Dana could knock him out. Steve Garcia and Machete Hayesa, yes to go the distance is plus 170. Not to go the distance is minus 235. I think that's a good bout to say yes to go the distance as well, plus 170. Vegas thinks a finish there. I don't think it's a finish there. Sung Woo Choi, Joshua Kuilbao, yes to go the distance, minus 121. Not to go the distance, minus 110. They sort of see a finish there. I think chasing Sung Woo Choi via TKO, plus 150. So you're better just doing the finish. They're set the same. Sung Woo Choi via TKO is plus 150. The finish is plus 150. Not a great value, but I think I might chase that. We'll see. I'm not positive or that. Magdalena and Emiv, yes to go the distance, minus 182. Not to go the distance, plus 135. I might chase the not to go the distance prop there. And Jack Della Magdalena via no value on the TKO by finish, plus 225. I think that's worth chasing. Or if you're on the Meave size, Meave via decision is Meave via decision is plus 225. So I think there could be a finish in that bout, but they're not expecting it. Jake Matthews and Andre Fial, definitely a finish there. Not to go the distance is minus 177. Yes to go the distance, plus 130. I think this fight's going to go, one guy's going to finish the other. Wylie Jang and Joanna and Jasic, I don't think it's out of the realm for Wylie to get a finish here. It's plus 300. Her via TKO is plus 350, and her by submission, Wylie Jang is plus 1300. But the finish line there is not horrible. They don't expect a finish there, but I think that fight might end in a finish. Chichenko, Taylor Santos, tough one to pick there. And Glover, I think there will be a finish in Glover versus Jiri, whether it's late or early. I think there is going to be a finish there. Yes to go the distance is plus 330. The odds reflect it. Not to go the distance is minus 500. So there's a finish there. So what do we got? One finish, definite finish. I mean, there two. I think there's only 3 fights where you're going to be confident in the finish. I think that a lot of these other fights, it's up in the air. It's not necessarily coin toss, but we're going to see. That's why we gamble. That's why we bet. Fights start at 6:15, which is a couple hours away. All right, but so what else are people thinking here? Any other comments or anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to rest this up. Maybe take a little nap here. Didn't sip my beer there. If you notice, I don't sip beer. I gulp it. I pour it in like this. Man, I used to be able to like guzzle beer like nothing. I once guzzled 2 40-ounces back to back. Got really messed up. But again, happy that everyone showed up. Stoked that I had some people here. I really appreciate that. I'll stay on for another 10 minutes or so. We're told us beer ends. Yeah, thank you, Real News. I agree, man. Great night of fights. Hopefully, they don't. I don't think they're gonna falter. I think they're going to be, they're good fights. I think that the odds are great too. As I mentioned before, regardless of what you're playing, I like that this card has like decent odds. A lot of times, man, you're like, fuck, like last card, horrible odds, fucking horrible odds. I stayed away from the whole card. Didn't place a bet. Just wasn't interested in any of the fighters, even my girl. Like if I would have live better, it would have been great. That was the only fight, but she was way overpriced, but I should have bet the house on her. And I didn't bet it, but I think, if you're a gambler, this is the odds aren't crazy. With the exception of Valentina Shevchenko, but I think last time out, Valentina was even a higher price. I think Valentina was like a minus 900 or higher against this girl from Seattle or Alaska. So, Valentina is actually a bargain at minus 670, but how are you going to make any money? So, Real News is saying he likes some of the matchups for next week, but he hasn't looked at any of the odds. Yeah, I mean, looking at the next week here, there's some good fights, man. I'm interested in Dawkins and Dolidze, Joaquin Buckley versus Albert Durev. How this bout between Damir Ismagulov and Guam Kutsalade. Very interested in that. Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, fucking great fight there. Interested in this. This is a bout that I'm really interested in. Gregory Rodriguez versus Julian Marquez. That's going to be a good-ass fight. And they're fucking giving Holland a give-me against Tim Means. It's going to be a stand-up war, and I'm going to have to go with Kevin Holland, although Tim Means is no joke, man. That dude's got some resilience. The guy can fucking take it and give it. So Cody Stamen, fucking definitely, he deserves that against Eddie Wineland. I'm surprised he still has bouts. Minus 420. Court McGee against Jeremiah Wells. I think that number should be even money. Adrian Yanez versus Tony Kelly. Adrian is a big favorite, and Gloria DePaula is a big favorite over Maria Oliveira. I think the lines this week, as far as gambling goes, are far, far better than next week. I think our ability to predict outcomes on this card is far better than next week. I think for betting, this is a card where we have to, I think I might go larger on some of my wagers tonight, because this card, I think the odds are fair, or at least set accordingly, right? Where they should be, and they're not competitive, but they're gambler friendly. Like, there's nothing out of crazy range here, right? If you want to cover the chalk on Sung Woo Choi at minus 265, I don't think that's ridiculous on someone like him. You know, you want to cover the chalk on Wylie Jang at minus 186, don't think it's ridiculous. Same with Jiri at minus 245. I'm not on that side, but I don't think any of the lines here are crazy wild wide. So I think this is going to be a much better gambling card this will be one of the best gambling cards I think we were going to have this summer. I don't think looking here at some of the initial odds, you know, my girl Macy Barber, I got Macy Barber at minus 200. She's minus 230 now. Actually, that card is not so bad either for gambling. Machete, Lauren Murphy. Yeah, the odds right now on the July 2nd card are not bad at all, right? I think that some of the odds that are posted there are very fair. You know, getting Max Holloway at plus 150, even though he's lost twice to Volkanovski. That's, you know, I think the odds are... Israel Adesanya against Jared Cannonier might be a little wide, but not really. I don't think Jared Cannonier is going to bring anything that Israel Adesanya hasn't seen or done. So I think Israel Adesanya at minus 345 has been a solid parlay piece for me, and I still might parlay him with somebody on this card. I think this card is got to be our... basically, I think this card is going to be make it or break it for me. You know, it's going to be... I got to go all in. I think this card is the card to, you know, either make my summer or not, right? Like, it's either going to get me above into the positive or it's going to crush me. And I'm willing to risk it on this card because I like the odds. I like where everything is placed. I don't like some of the prop bets, but I like the money line on all these bouts. And I think that we have to take advantage of that. And then we're going to have to take advantage of again, mentioning the live bets. So everyone on MMA News saying this weekend he has a $3 parlay of Liang, Choi, Magdalena, and Shevchenko by TKO, and the over 1.5 of Jiri and Glover. I think that's a good bet. When I say a good bet, I like the over 1.5 at minus 139 in that. I like that. I like that bet. You know, using that as a parlay piece or just as a straight money line bet, the over 1.5. Man, I mean, we're going to be sweating it, but I think that's a good bet, man. That a good take on what could happen there. Because there's Glover, there's always a feeling out period. Jiri may not want, you know, he's going to be aggressive, but he's not going. Oh, the real news that he hit Blanchfield. Yeah, I'm big. I was on Blanchfield, man. Like, her number dropped big time. So, you know, I wanted Blanchfield so bad, and I knew Molina was going to do well. So, but real news, I think that your take on the over 1.5 in the bout between Jiri and Glover is sound. I think that's going to happen. I think that's highly likely, and that's why it's set at, you know, the price is according, right? Like minus 139. That's something. Hopefully, I would have some money won, and that might have to, you know, beyond a flyer. I might have to take a stab at that. I'm going to seriously consider that as a very strong take and play. You know, what he's saying is the under 1.5. No, I'm thinking the over. I'm thinking the over 1.5 at minus 139. The under 1.5 is plus 105, right? Which I don't think is horrible either, but I'm liking the over, man. I'm liking the over there at minus 139. You know, if this happens early, I say Glover gets it by submission early. You know, I don't think he gets TKO'd early. You know, I know a lot of people Jiri doesn't have that one-touch, one-hit knockout power. He's more of a volume guy, right? So I don't see him. You know, when was the last time he was knocked out? Knocked out losses. He has been knocked out a couple times. He's got the percentage of knockout losses is 40% for Glover. Man, looking at some of the stats for Glover, look at his total opponent UFC record. Glover has faced guys with the record of 148 wins and 59 losses compared to Jiri's 11 wins and 5 losses. Just a crazy differences in some of the experience level here. It's just ridiculous. You know, I didn't do the stat digging or the deep dive on the stats here, but looking at it, man, Glover's just experienced. Yeah, he's almost 43 years old, Glover. I mean, his professional record, he's 33-7-0. Where Jerry has a 28 win professional. I think they're counting his kickboxing career, if anything. So I'm going to look at the over there, but yeah, I guess he has the Glover under 1.5. I don't know if you have the under 1.5 there, Real News. I think if that in that parlay, it might get mushed. I'm thinking the over 1.5. I'm leaning the other way, but I haven't bet it. But you know, good luck, and I think we're going to do fine. I think you're going to do fine. And you're doing micro betting, which is fantastic, man. Everybody bet your limits. There's nothing wrong with micro betting. There's nothing wrong with placing a small wager on something. Main thing is just winning and enjoying yourself, and the winning helps. But bet within your limits. You know, like if you don't fucking have any money, don't fucking bet it. You know, I've been there. We've all been there. Fucking pass. You know, yes, sometimes if you're expecting to gamble MMA or gamble to make a living, let me tell you from experience, it's not easy, right? It's not something it's not for the weak of will, and it's not as easy as people think. Whether you're hustling to do it or you're gambling to do it, it's not as easy as people think. So just bet what you're able, what little, or manage the expendable income. Because gambling all your expendable income is not wise either, you know. So just watch what you're doing, you know. But you know, nothing wrong with micro betting. If you could you flip a $2 bet and make fucking $1,500 on it, love it, enjoy it. I've seen it done. You know, I've turned $10 into $1,700. You know, it happens rarely. But when you could do that, man, you don't have to. When you put a little $10 bet on something and it hits, and then you keep flipping it and flipping it and flipping it, and you don't delve back into your pocket, and you just work with your winnings, and you keep rolling it over, and it ends up being like 1,000. Man, that's the best feeling, you know. But in order to do that, you have to get all your picks almost correct on the money line or even whatever you're betting. And I think this is a kind of card where we can get a sweep. We could not necessarily do the perfect parlay. I hate to mention those fuckers. But you could do a perfect pick card here. Your plays can be, you know, you can make some money this card. I think this is a card, I can't emphasize this enough. I think this is one of the best betting cards. And it's sad that I couldn't get the information out earlier for people and actually do a deep dive. But I think this is one of the best betting cards we've had in a very long time. And I'm not as invested, which is okay, but I'm going to be going to the casino, going to the ATM, and then going to the casino to back my ass up, man. Have confidence or re-up into some of the things that I've seen here. So, you know, I wish everybody good luck. Have a good time. Drive safely. Be chill. Hopefully we all have a very, very successful night betting. Enjoy the MMA, and thank you guys. And if you've made it this far, you are about better. Thank you guys very much. Good luck.